You know what's coming, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
It's a rabbit hole. Let's go. Righto, Philip. Just a bit of a change of pace for this rabbit hole. I thought, because I was looking into Ian Meadows' background a little bit, and I discovered that he was in community radio, I wanted to just ask you, and I'll tell you one or two of my things anyway. What other interesting little hobbies or things have you got up to in your life that might be of interest to me and the listeners and viewers?
I'm not sure there'd be anything of interest.
Well, I'll start then. Well, the reason I came up with the idea is because I was been in community radio as well, and I was in community radio for 10 years. I was also on the board of directors for that too for a while, because it was incorporated, so you've got to have a board, and that was a very interesting experience, being a member of a board. It's a bit like being a member of a fan club association too. Lots of interesting things happen there too, which have you and I have both been part of the Doctor Who club.
We have. We just didn't overlap. You left just before I arrived.
Right. Well, there you go. But one other interesting fact that you may not know about me, Philip, and everyone's going to know this now, is that many years ago, I've started a few businesses here and there, but many years ago, I found myself out of work and I was unable to find work. And I had $20 left in my wallet. So I went to the supermarket and I bought the ingredients for 6 chocolate cakes. I baked the chocolate cakes. I put them in a basket, put on a white shirt, went out and I sold them. Made a good profit, so I went and bought some more ingredients. I kept doing that until I turned that into a business. So I had a home cake baking business, and I had that for a good couple of years in Sydney. Those were the days when you could go from business to business. There weren't anti-hawking laws then, and I could hawk my wares. And I really enjoyed that. I got a taste for self-employment and started up a few other businesses over the years. But the reason I'm thinking of that now is because I bake so many cakes, I had refused to do any baking for years and years. And yesterday I pulled out one of those old recipes. It's been maybe 25, 30 years, perhaps almost, since I've done that business. And I baked one of my original recipe cakes yesterday, and my family loved it. So it's given me a taste of baking again, get back into the kitchen. There you go. Bet you didn't expect to hear that on the Sirens of Audio.
You're a baker. Well, there you go.
What about you, Philip?
Well, I'm trying to think. I mean, So what's the question? What do we do on the side?
Yeah, something interesting. I mean, everyone knows we do this podcast. This is something we're interested in. It's an interesting hobby. But is there anything else besides that might be different, unusual, or just something that you like to do? For instance, I didn't know you're a saxophone player.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah,
so there you are.
Play saxophone. Yeah, I mean, I've been in lots of bands. So I was, the main band I was in for lots of years, actually after I left school, was called the Georges River Concert Band and Jazz Band. And, that was a big thing until I got married.
Playing sax, or were you doing other?
Mainly saxophone. The concert band, I was often doing a lot more percussion, timpani, things at the back, tuned percussion. But jazz band has always been saxophone as my main instrument. I also play piano. I mean, I've taught concert bands for years until recently. So all instruments. I've started up a couple of concert bands in primary schools that I taught at. I was a bit left wing. I was actually interesting thing I did was I was the secretary of the Teachers Trade Union, Teachers Federation, for a number of years. So actively involved in Federation matters, which was a lot of fun in terms of a lot of good friendships that came out of that. I've done bizarre stuff actually, all sorts of bits and pieces.
Give me a bizarre thing.
Well, I think the trade union one's possibly bizarre. I mean, I'm just worried. I don't want to get too political. People look at me and go, "Oh, well, we're not going to listen to him anymore," because depending on the outlet. I mean, one of the things I did, which I enjoyed, was I served on the New South Wales Board of Studies for a number of years, writing curriculums. So at one stage, and it's gone now, the creative arts curriculum, so music, art, drama, dance, I was one of a few people involved in the whole writing of that syllabus, which was then taught to all of New South Wales students for a number of years before it was replaced by a newer model with a newer minister. So,
Right.
so I've been involved in all sorts of little organisations and planning things, and I've done a lot of camp work. I've taken a lot of kids overseas on trips to help in poorer countries. So
Right.
I've taken kids to China, Moldova, Russia, Armenia. So a lot of Eastern Bloc countries, and I spent many months with kids working.
What's the most memorable place that you've been to overseas on one of these trips?
Probably Armenia, which is a place that no one goes to anymore. But both the work we were doing, it's we were recreating a medical centre. So it was a very Armenia's interesting. Armenia's an interesting place. There's a lot of money there. Well, usually in the world, lots of money, lots of poverty. And so you go to the centre of the city, and it's just spectacular and beautiful. And the whole main street, and there's these beautiful giant staircases and dancing fountains. They are dancing fountains. There's music that plays, and there's all choreographed fountains. It's spectacular. But you move one block either side of the main street, and you just hit poverty. But we were working in some of the outlying villages, and there was a medical centre that had basically fallen apart. And they'd managed to hire a new nurse to work there, but it was unfit for human consumption. And so I had about 12 kids there, and we cleaned the whole place out and painted it all out and reset it all up and made some furniture and, just got that place going again. So that was just a lovely experience. But just, being able to give to the community, give to some other areas and learning a lot about the people. But that's one of several trips I've done.
Excellent. And you sat there going, I don't know what I've done. You've done some fantastic things, Philip.
Oh, I know, but nervous about talking about trade unions with all our rich listeners are going, commie. Not that the Teachers Federation is quite that. It's fairly left wing. Yeah, it's okay.
So that's enough of our get to know your podcast hosts segment for today, and our rabbit hole topic.